everybody. Hi. So I finished my walk, as you can see. I'm in my kitchen at my mom's computer doing some work. But there's one thing I just totally forgot to tell everybody. Happy birthday in heaven, Lucille Ball. Now I know there are people out there who's like, why are you having birthdays for people that are dead? They're dead. Because this particular woman did so much for comedians and so much for me and so much for majority of you out there that she needs to be recognized throughout lifelong. So here we are. People don't realize how much she has done and how much she was to comedy. I mean, if you look at the comics now, they loved her, and they basically say she was the reason why they do what they do now. And they were encouraged by the fact that she did as much as she pioneered. I don't know what that word is, but that she did that, got people to their places. I mean, there are comedians and comics out there that wouldn't be out there if it wasn't for her. I remember Eddie Murphy saying she was one of his favorites. He loved her. He had a crush on her. I mean, you wouldn't expect. Only because you just think it's like, oh, I mean, he loved comedians, but he truly loved her. And he loves her. I love her because not only was she, at first, I thought she was silly and I didn't. And it's like, okay, she's okay. But then as I got older, I understood. She did what she did for her audience. She may have, she took things seriously and she did things seriously, but she played to her audience. And that's why she was a classic. I mean, I'd say a good year before she died, when she was in the last show she did, the Lucy show, I remember, and I've told this story a few times, only because that was the genius of her. I was watching an episode, and she was coming home from having walked out, and she was walking. That was her exercise, or was she jogging? I wasn't sure what she was doing, but she had a set of headphones, and she'd walked in. Nobody could hear what the music was. It didn't matter. She got to dancing, and she, for a good 2-3 minutes, laughter, because everybody was watching her moving and grooving. I mean, and this woman, it wasn't like we were watching a young kid doing a hip hop number or anything. This was Lucille Ball, who had captured the audience and that's how she was. That's how she is. I mean, everybody remembers the whole chocolate factory scene and the crushing of the grapes. But all in all, that woman was amazing. I mean, she pioneered in shows. I mean, she was the first one who had an interracial marriage because she was married to Desi Arnaz. And people didn't understand, that didn't happen. And he and she, they were together for a long time until they divorced. But they were the first ones to do, marry people in a bed. Well, the bed was separated, but it was showing life, realistic life at the time. So she pioneered through a lot, and she was one of the first ones to own a company, a production company. Desi Lou Productions. I think that was the name. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but she was one of the first ones to have one. I mean, she did it all. And she was a beautiful woman. Like, if you look at some of her earlier pictures, I mean, she maintained her beauty throughout, but she didn't feel she had to, put on a funny face. She let her talent do the talking, and there are comics out there that have funny faces and that's part of what they do. That's fine, but Lucy knew that wasn't what she wanted to be just known as. So she went beyond. So that was definitely, you know, when she did die, it was definitely a sad moment. You were definitely sad. It's right up there with, like, I'm not equating it in the sense of, oh, they were just as genius. It was just like funny people that affected you, like Robin Williams when he died, Richard Pryor, you know, Bernie Mac. When I heard like comics like that, who affect how you laugh, and they have stories that still get into you and still affect you. She was one of those. Joan Rivers. I mean, those people you generally miss because they were not just comics. They were like a friend that, oh, you remember when so and so said that? Oh, that's what you miss. Okay, I know this was a long one, but come on, it's Lucy. So, and I base the fact that I can be funny, that I can make fun of myself, that I can laugh with people, that I'm allowed to as an actor, as a female, you know, there's Mom's Mabley. I mean, there are just so many brilliant, funny people. And you have to really I would do some research on your favorite comics because there's a lot more to them than just what you see on stage. I mean, there's a story. And everybody's like, oh, there's usually a depressing story behind a comic. Yes and no, but there's usually a very serious story, and that helps them escape their problems. And sometimes they don't escape. Sometimes they share it with you and they bring it to you. Okay, that's enough. But again, thank you so much, Ms. Ball. You brilliance. And happy birthday. You guys take care and think of your favorite Lucy moment and that little chuckle she'll hear. Bye.